And so it is now my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce UC President Janet Napolitano. It is particularly important that we have her here because of her unique background, her unique experience across all sectors, whether that's as two-term governor of the state of Arizona, where she can really understand and take to heart what it means to bring services to communities and fulfill those needs. As the former secretary of the US Department of Homeland Security, again, a direct interaction, understanding that the threats that we face from climate change and that downstream impact on people, on communities. This is exactly the kind of information that we need to make sure everyone has at their fingertips. And now leading a top education institution, my goodness, we're so lucky to have the 20th president of the UC system, the first woman to serve in this role. Bringing 10 campuses together, bringing over 200,000 students, over 200,000 faculty, and representing over 2 million living alumni here today. And so the reach, the opportunity that we have with this type of program is so amazing. And so thank you to President Napolitano for making sure this is happening. And thank you for ensuring that this partnership is statewide with the Cal State system. It's so important and so exciting. And so please, everyone, join me in welcoming President Napolitano up on the stage.
Thank you. Good afternoon. You know, we're here talking about an issue I think that is near and dear to all of us. We come at it from different levels of expertise. Some of us are teachers in high school. Some of us are students. Some of us are at the university level. Some of us are in public policy positions. But we are here collectively addressing an issue that I think I speak for all of us when I say that it is the single most existential problem we face on the world today, and that is the warming of the planet. This past year I put out a book. It was my first book, and it's called How Safe Are We? Homeland Security Since 9/11. It's available on Amazon. But in the concluding chapters of that book, I talk about the risks that really face the United States that are not getting sufficient attention. And I talk about three: the risk of mass gun violence, too many mass shootings; the risks associated with cybersecurity, and all of the risks to our infrastructure that pertains to that, including our elections. And most importantly, the risks associated with climate change, because I think we all need to understand that climate change is not just an ethereal concept. It is real, it is direct, it is impactful, it is affecting us right now. It's affecting world economies, it's affecting ecosystems, it's affecting immigration patterns. It's already here. The question is, well, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? Well, we can do a lot. I think the ECCLPS project is a great example where UC and CSU are coming together to work together to make sure that we are thinking through how we educate the next generation about issues affecting climate change. What is the science? What are some of the new innovations, new technologies, new tactics and techniques that can be deployed to combat it, to make our communities more resilient to the climate change that already has occurred? So ECLPS is one of the things that we can do about it. Educating the next generation. That is the role of a university. It's the role of Cal State. It's the role of the University of California. Isn't it significant that Times Person of the Year this year is Greta Thunberg? She's 16, but she has indeed galvanized a global movement of student organized strikes to bring literally hundreds of thousands of young people into the streets, demanding action to protect our planet, to deal with climate. She says of her activism, we cannot solve a crisis without treating it as a crisis. If solutions within the system are so impossible to find, then maybe we should change the system itself. There's real wisdom in that. Here in California, we are lucky to have elected officials like Mayor Garcetti and others working hard to make sure that students of all ages understand the science of climate change and are empowered and have the tools they need to take meaningful action. California's statewide curriculum standards and frameworks now require that our students receive instruction on environmental principles and concepts. Well, that needs to include climate change. California's new teacher preparation programs are training new educators on how to incorporate these kinds of concepts into curricula from kindergarten through high school classrooms. But there is more we can do to further integrate these efforts at every level of our educational system. That's why UC has built long-standing partnerships with CSU, with the state of California, with our K through 12 educators, to develop and refine these and other essential climate education programs. In close collaboration with CSU, the state, and NGOs, UC's curriculum integration and subject matter projects have boosted student achievement by providing K-12 teachers with additional resources and training opportunities aligned with California's curriculum standards. And as part of the implementation of California's Blueprint for Environmental Literacy, these programs have helped educators develop and refine how they teach topics like sustainability, like environmental justice, as Brianna just referred to a few moments ago. Every year, more than 140,000 children and youth who participate in UC's statewide 4-H program are engaged in hands-on learning opportunities on STEM topics like water stewardship, engineering, plant science, and renewable energy. 82% of the program leave it with a positive impression of what it's like to do science. UC's Agriculture and Natural Resource Division also provides professional development training for educators who work with youth through its Project Learning Tree program. Educators trained through this program reach some 10,000 young people annually, with learning opportunities focused on California's ecosystem, its forests, its trees. In addition to the university's outreach to K-12 teachers and students, the UC-CSU Knowledge Action Network, or CAN, is a network of faculty focused on expanding climate change literacy in our university communities. Just last month, with the support of UC's Carbon Neutrality Initiative, CAN members launched the Nextera digital platform, a database where teachers and students can download course materials, syllabi, assignments, and bibliographies on topics like climate justice and indigenous climate leadership. So that's a cool one, right? Nextera. UC San Diego professor and ECLPS Steering Committee co-chair, Dr. Ram Ramanathan, has expanded UC's groundbreaking Bending the Curve report on scalable climate solutions into a new digital open source textbook and an undergraduate climate action course that can be deployed at universities around the globe. But there's even more that can be done, and so that's why I'm thrilled that the ECLPS Steering Committee organized this summit, released a report this week laying out a path forward for continuing to integrate our climate literacy and education efforts. I'm confident that this report will serve as a roadmap not only for lawmakers and educators, but also for other climate and education leaders, private foundations, and NGOs seeking to expand their efforts in this area. You know, humans have an amazing capacity for adaptation, progress, for pushing beyond the limits of the current civilization. For the global climate crisis we now face, we need to tap into our deepest stores of ingenuity, resilience, and creativity to shift the trajectory of our future. Educating the next generation of climate champions, preparing them to organize, advocate, and yes, march for a sustainable planet is essential if we indeed are serious about bending the curve on climate change. Only by pursuing all of these actions at our own institutions in close partnership with each other can we truly change the system and ensure a thriving and sustainable future for us all. There is a lot to think about. There is a lot to do. We need to get it done. Thank you.